when you go in there, is it like a race for all the teachers trying to?
No, not really. People just show up and just start taking it and working on it. But you know, for me, it's a race. Everything's a race. Everything in the entire world is a race.
I didn't know if like the teachers they gave you like a time. They were like, okay, start.
No,
Which
they just
teacher
say,
goes first?
go for it. We're all looking at each other like, check you down. Okay. All right, part 2. Okay, in B, what is the smallest root of this? All right, now, we've got a calculator, but it won't tell you what the definition of a root is, so you have to know that. Okay, root. What's a root? All right, roots are otherwise known as zeros, which are otherwise known as graphically what? X-intercepts. If I am crossing the x-axis, then I am a 0 or a root, right? Okay. When you factor a bunch of, some polynomials and you put it in a bunch of parentheses, you set it equal to 0, you get the x-intercepts. Okay. And to get x-intercepts, by the way, you have to do what?
That equals 0.
Right. X-intercept, put in 0 for y. Right? Oh yeah, those are the zeros, those are the roots, sure. Okay. Now, of course, they're going to make this particular problem here where it's unfactorable. Some of them are factorable in the test. This one's unfactorable. Okay. Off the top of your head, I mean, you can do it, but it's very complicated. So, you don't want to just glance at this and say, okay, let me just factor it. It won't work. So let's use the calculator to figure out the roots for us. All right. So here's what we'll do. All right. In the first box, we're going to hit what button first? Y. Y equals. All right. So everybody go to your Y equals button. And let's see if we can fill in some details here. All right. Y equals. Hit clear to take out that absolute value stuff first. And let's hit 10 x carry 4. And hopefully you're starting to get used to where the x and the carry are, since we use it a bunch. And as soon as we get the calculus next year, we will discard the calculator. Until about this time of the year when we bring it back, actually. For a few tricks. All right. So put that in. Now, in the second box, where shall we go next? And actually, for windowing this, let's just use the factory default's fine. So -10 to 10 is okay. So you can skip window if you want. Let's just go straight to the graph. What are we expecting, by the way? Yeah, you better believe it. Okay, you can say it faster than it can pop up on the screen. You guys know your stuff. Okay, 10 to the 4th, and then you throw in a Q, you bend it. All right. So you get something kind of like that. Good. I'm gonna add a little sketch to the notes you can. Okay, so we got that. Now. Can you tell, just looking at it visually, can you tell how many zeros there are? 4. Looks like there are 4 crossings. What are the most roots you can have of a 4th degree polynomial? 4. You can have up to 4. Thank you, best mathematician who ever lived. You, Mr. Euler. Thank you, Leonard Euler, for discovering that you can get up to 4 roots. Okay? However, you can get up to 4 roots, but you don't have to get all 4 roots. Some of these could have only 3 roots, or 2 roots, or 1 root. You could even have 0 roots. You know what you could do to that W shape to get 0 roots? What if you shifted it out? What if I had made this instead of -2? What if I made it like +1,000,000? Okay? You wouldn't have any roots at all. You could try to solve, but you wouldn't find any roots because it's not touching the x-axis, right? So now you can see visually what these roots are we keep talking about. So this one has all 4. We get the max right here. We got all 4 crossings. It says find the smallest root. Okay? So to find the smallest root, what shall we do? Well, where's all the cool stuff here? Calc. So everybody hits second calc. Okay? And what under second calc might help us? How about the zeros? Isn't that nice? You can do the zeros for you. So everybody hit number 2. Or just highlight 0 and press enter. Okay. Now it's going to ask us the same questions as always. What's the left bound? So everybody arrow to the left of that crossing there. If, by the way, if we're doing the smallest root, it would be the one that is farthest to the left. Because this is the smallest root. That one right there. Okay? Out of the 4. So everybody go left of that crossing right there. Okay? Which will take you higher, but also to the left, yeah. Hit enter, lock it in place. Okay, remember it's kind of like a video game, only not so fun. Okay, now go to the right of that, anywhere to the right of that crossing.
Mine jumps.
Okay. And there's a big jump because it's very steep, and so there's a huge jump there.
So just do it as close as you can.
So, yeah, as close as you can.
What do you get?
Yeah, when you do the guess, yeah, there's a big jump between the two. It's like nowhere close to the crossing, so just put it either place will work, it doesn't matter. Okay? I think the lower one's a little closer, so get your guess, and what does it give us?
-1/2.
All right. X equals -0.5. And how do you know for sure that it is definitely a root? Take a look. Look at your screen, because it is plugging in for you actually right now. What do you see on the
Y
screen?
equals 0.
Y equals 0 means it is definitely a root, isn't it? Okay? So we got one answer of the 4. All right? Check. Okay.
All of them have negative.
Now, yes, now there are 2 ways to do this. I think they're about the same amount of time, but here's the deal. Which of the following sets represents all of the roots of G, all 4 of them? Okay? This is multiple choice. Here's what I would advise you to do on the final exam. And this is very highly advised for pre-calculus students. This is simply a guess and check. Okay? You're not going to factor it, try to figure it out. You're just going to try to check which one of these is the right answer. Now, 2 ways to do this. If you want to go back through, you could do the zeros, like we just did for the other 3. Okay? Or you can just start plugging in some random numbers down here from the multiple choice and start eliminating them. I think it's about the same. Okay? Let's try the plug and chug because that's going to open up another door for us. Another little trick. Now, are there any of these that we can eliminate with the answer -1/2 yet?
No.
Ah, darn it. They put -1/2 in every one of them, didn't they? That's typical. Okay. So, let's do this. Let's go to A. Let's see if it's A or not. So let's not test -1/2. What else would you not want to test in A? Why not 1? No, I have 1. That doesn't eliminate anybody, does it? Okay. So let's test 1/2 or 3. Let's just pick the 1/2. Okay? Here's how you test it. All right? So let's do this. Everybody go to second calc. Okay? Now, under second calc, I'm going to use something called value. And that's number 1. Okay? And value will find the value of any y coordinate on this graph, anywhere that you want. Okay? So let's plug in, what is the x coordinate we want to plug in? Let's try x equals 1/2. And you don't have to type in 0.5. You can actually type 1 divided by 2 and it'll do it for you. Type that in, hit enter. And what did you get for your y coordinate?
2.25.
2.25. All right. Question, is it a root or not? Why not? If you do not get y equals 0, it is not a root. If you're on the x-axis, isn't your height 0? So that is not a root. So we just eliminated answer A. And if there's 1/2 and anything else down here, you can eliminate it. Sometimes they carry over. It didn't carry over this time. Okay. All right. So let's go to the second one. Let's go to B. Don't plug in -1/2 because it's in every one of them. Don't plug in 1. It's in every one of them. Should we do 1/3 or 2? You know what? 2 is in all the rest of the answers. So that actually wouldn't help us eliminate. So let's try 1/3 instead. Okay? X equals 1/3. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go back to second calc, value, and just simply type in 1 divided by 3. And it instantaneously gives you the y coordinate.
Just type the number 2.
Okay? Yeah. And the y coordinate this time was 1 point what? You want to get it?
So
Put in 1/3. What do I get for y? Anyone? Anyone? We just way ahead? We're sleeping. What's that?
7.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you got 1.23457. It's not that one. Okay. All right, we're down to the last 2. Let's test point 1 and point 2. And notice this only takes you seconds once you get used to it. Second, calc, 1, enter, point 1, enter. That's it. That's it. Up. Darn it. Okay, family feud. Survey says. Two kids are too young to family feud, probably.
Oh.
You guys remember? Okay, so it was like way back. I don't know if you guys knew what that was. Okay.
It's not.
If you don't know, I think it's still.
My brother and I.
Oh yeah, it's a different house these days. It's not a classic show.
Yes.
Anyway, if you've ever seen it, just go to the symbol and click on Family Feud.
None of them.
And you can see there. All right. Now that doesn't work. Now the last one. Let's test point 2. What happened when you put in point 2? Y equals 0. Now, just to be sure, okay, you'll have lots of time to do this final exam. You'll probably get done early. So you got plenty of time. Just to be sure we didn't make some silly mistake somewhere, I would like to plug in all 4 just to make sure they work. We know -1/2 works. So I would go ahead and do the 1 and the 2 as well, just to make sure. I want peace of mind here, okay? So what if they made a mistake and it's none of the above? I don't know. So, second calc value, let me just test 1 really fast. Works. Second calc 1, let me test 2 really fast. Yes, it works. All roots. Okay? So just to be sure, test all 4. Got it. Done. Okay? So it's pretty quick and easy. Just have to know what buttons to push, right? Okay? All right, so now to the last one, which is more miscellaneous crap, which we have also dubbed lame calculator stuff. How to use your fingers instead of your brain.
Yeah, none of them work.
None of what work?
I use Zoom to look at it.
All right, you kids are getting ahead now.
You're gonna have to turn
Okay,
it from.
but let me show you a little something, because there's a, well, I would leave it in degrees. Well, I guess you could change it. Yeah, just don't forget to change it back, because that'd be a disaster. But I would prefer to leave it in degrees. Let me show you some of the trick that we use as well. Okay, now, the graph to the right matches which function below. Okay, let's do this first. Let's everybody go to y equals, of course. And it was on.
Oh,
Probably an
your
alarm that I forgot to turn off.
It's always some kind of alarm.
Or my dad.
Oh, look at that, it's an alarm. Remember to send Zach Johnson a dial. Sorry about that.
What's that?
I mean Steve.
Ooh.
I'm glad you reminded me. Okay, now, okay, let's do y equals and then type it in. Let's try the first one here. 2 sine x plus 1 minus 5. And then let's go to the graph.